guys on how penguins survive in extremely cold weather.
Wow.
I'm going to be talking about their size, the amount of feathers on their body, and their grouping patterns. Penguins for birds are relatively big animals. Usually, birds fly, and penguins don't, they swim. Penguins don't have feathers really, like the big fluffy ones that we're all used to. Some penguins, there's a penguin called an emperor penguin, and they're about the size of an overweight 10-year-old boy, and have the chest of a man. So they're pretty big. And for penguins, that's very important for the cold weather because mathematically, the larger the animal, there's a ratio for the surface area and the volume of the animal. So the bigger the animal is, the less heat that they will give off. So it's very important for them to be big. If you have a little tiny animal living in the Arctic, it's gonna die. That's why there's no ants there, I guess. Right. Penguins are very fat and have exposed feet for a reason. They have a subcutaneous layer of fat, which I'm a bio major, and that means that it's underneath the skin. That keeps them very warm. It keeps them insulated, which is very important because their organs won't freeze. It's good that they have their feet exposed and that their flippers are not fatty. I can tell this is very boring for everybody. I'm just gonna keep going. It's good that their feet are exposed because you want to release if they get too hot, which is possible for penguins, because if the temperature gets to freezing, they're gonna start getting a little hot in the Antarctic. And feathers, they don't have feathers. Everyone's falling asleep. Sorry, the speech is awful, it's not funny anymore. Feathers, if they go in the water, the feathers will get wet, they'll come out and it will just freeze. So they have tiny feathers that help them get to the water faster. The feathers are also, they're little feathers, they're good because they help them regulate their temperature. If it gets too cold, they can puff out their feathers, and they do the same thing if they get too hot to let air go through. An interesting thing about penguins, is that the way that they move their feet and their fins is that they have no muscles in their feet or their fins, so it doesn't matter if they get too cold, because if your muscles get cold, then it's bad to, that's why you need to keep warm, like people. Their muscles for their feet and their fins are actually inside their body, and they have tendons that run from the muscles to the flippers, which move them around. So it's not like muscles on our feet that we have, it's just kind of like a lever system that they have in their body. Penguins like to be in groups, and I'm going to talk about their balance. You'll notice if you guys ever watch TV, been to SeaWorld, watch Happy Feet, you'll see that they're always in groups because, as we know, if you're cold, you cuddle with somebody, you try to keep warm, and it's the body heat and the temperature, and again with the whole surface area thing, the ratio, and the winds won't be passing through, and the heat will be radiating off the penguins' bodies, and they'll just keep each other warm. Penguins, if you stand on ice bare feet, you're gonna be cold. So I was reading that if you stand on your tippy toes, you obviously won't be as cold. But penguins, they lay back on their heels, then their tails, they balance on the ground with their tails, and their tails have no sensation in them at all, so their tails won't get cold. So they can just stay back on their heels and their tails, and they won't be lose any heat from their tails. In Antarctica, the weather is very cold, obviously. It obviously gets below negative 20 degrees Fahrenheit, and the winds can get up to 125 miles per hour. So these little fat penguins waddling around need to stay warm. And also the penguins don't have any shelters down there. They don't build forts or igloos. They just all have to stay together. So I'm not sure if you guys all know, but male penguins always stay with the eggs. So, and they wait. I didn't research very much. I don't know what the women do when they're out doing their stuff. So, the male penguins will have to stay for months with not eating. They'll have to survive off their body fat, and they'll lose up to 40% of their body weight by the time the mother comes back. And then they'll have to, at tops, travel 125 miles to even get food back to the water and then back again. And my conclusion is that my next speech won't be as boring. So penguins are very interesting creatures, I guess. They can survive in the cold and ice.